Alright, welcome to this online learning module. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of give you guys an overview of the early battles of the Civil War so you guys can use this to study for quizzes, tests, and for various assignments that we're going to have in this course. Okay, so we know that this unit covers the Civil War. The Civil War lasts from 1861 to 1865, and we know we're going to come to find out that at the end, the Confederacy is going to surrender to the Union on April 9th, 1865 at the Appomattox Courthouse, where General Lee surrenders to the future president, Ulysses S. Grant, at the Appomattox Courthouse. But today, we're going to talk about how the war began and some of the early battles that took place in the Civil War. So the Civil War begins in 1861. Okay, and the first battle that we have is at the Battle of Fort Sumter, okay, in South Carolina. And what we want to make sure we know is that the main issue over this Civil War, the overlying issue is the issue of slavery. Okay, it's not until 1863 where President Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation, where it frees all slaves in states rebelling against the Union. Okay, mainly in the Confederate States. So, the Battle of Fort Sumter, okay, in South Carolina. What we're hoping to happen, and what the Union is hoping to happen, is that the Union is preserved. However, in this battle, okay, they attack their fort, and as a result, the Confederates are victorious. Okay, so what does each side need to do, okay, before the early battles really get underway? When we look at the first battle of Bull Run and the second battle of Bull Run, you guys will watch a video on the Battle of Antietam, which was the bloodiest single day battle in United States history. Okay, single bloodiest day battle. So the North and the South are going to have resources at their disposal. Okay, the North, they have a large population to choose from soldiers. Okay, they have railroads that can easily transport them to the South, which we'll get to in a minute. Okay, and they come up with a plan to destroy the South. Okay, with a naval blockade. Okay, and they want to gain control of the Mississippi River. That's the advantages and the strategies of the Union. Now, for the South, okay, the South has many advantages as well. They have the well-trained military soldiers, okay, and a lot of the fighting is going to be in their own backyard. They're going to have the advantage of being able to know the land, okay, and basically what's going to happen is the North's going to bring the fighting to them, okay, and both sides are going to have to get an army. Okay, we're going to see a lot of volunteer armies. Okay, and training is going to be important as well, because a lot of these volunteers obviously have never begun to fight or have never fought in a war before. Okay, so there might be some discrepancies, or shall we say, strategies not being followed in the early battles because of the soldiers who are not fully trained yet. Okay, so like we said, at Fort Sumter, it really kicks off the war. Okay, the North and the South, their plan to win the war. Okay, and we talked a little bit about the training purposes and these volunteer armies that both sides had. Okay, so a lot of this fighting is fought in the South and along the East Coast. So it's going to be fought where the South is going to have the advantage, okay, because obviously these northern states have to come to them, okay, the Union Army. Okay, and that's one of General Robert E. Lee's plans. He's the commander of the Confederate forces. He's going to lead the brigade against the Union. Okay, and we'll get into the specific generals on the Union side in just a few minutes when you guys listen to the next micro lecture that deals with the first Battle of Bull Run and the second Battle of Bull Run. Okay, like I said, you guys are going to watch the movie on the Battle of Antietam. Okay, so we'll get into those two battles in just a few minutes that you guys can have. I want to separate that for you guys so you guys can break down each of those separately. Okay, separate from what the strategies were of the North and the South, and how each side went about in getting an army, okay, for each side. So, and another thing that we're going to see for this war, okay, that we see in the United States is a draft, okay, and they're going to refer to this war as a rich man's war and a poor man's fight. And why I say that is because if you were rich enough, you could basically buy your way out and not have to fight in the Civil War. Okay, so some people were lucky with that, not having to fight, while others weren't. Okay, and we'll see at the end of this war just how deadly and catastrophic it was to the United States as a whole. Okay, and we'll get into other battles as well in these micro lectures. We'll break down those specifically, and then finally finish it off, okay, with the outcome of the war. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope you guys will enjoy the next two battles, the first and second Battle of Bull Run. You guys will have these at your disposal to necessarily, you can take these wherever you want to go when studying for the quiz. You don't have to have them, you don't have to log in a computer. You can listen to them on your phone, on your iPad, wherever you have access to Wi-Fi. So hopefully that'll help you guys as you move on to this course.